What's up, guys? Assalamu alaikum. Age is here. My brother Ammar.
Hello.
سمعنا صوتك.
Hello.
So where are we now? So we are the Akram Jum'ah Mosque parking lot. So basically I came earlier, this is my probably fifth time trying to, seek help from the community, so-called Muslim community, mashallah, but perhaps, maybe I should be a Sikh instead, with my hair, because I'll probably get more help from a Sikh than a Muslim brother. Anyways, this is not about getting help, so to speak. This is about, sharing a story that as a Muslim, I've been here for 25 years. How many years have you been here for, Ammar?
5 years.
5 years. Where did you spend the last 3 years and a half at? The last 3 years and a half, where did you sleep? The last 3 years and a half?
Shelter.
So 3 years and a half in the shelter. Where are you from?
Syria.
Where from? Suwaida. So my brother here, Ammar Sarhan, and myself, my name is AJ, aka Ahmed Jr. Al-Shihabi. I was born in Damascus, Syria, so I'm an indigenous Palestinian born refugee in the city of Damascus. 1995 national birth record, So my brother here is 1990?
Yeah.
1990. And I believe it's May 16th. Mine is January 27, 1985. So, okay, that's the record, national record. So now, what am I doing here? This is part testimony, right, as to what has been happening with me right here in Calgary. So I left Ottawa. About on the 14th of January. And I decided, 14th of January is when I was released. Unlawfully being detained, right, at the Montfort Hospital, because the stooges, the auto police, so to speak, and the crown prosecutor has run out of excuses, so to speak. The primary ground, secondary ground. Now they pull this trick out of a rabbit hat that somehow I am mentally unfit for trial. So that was the day before I was released on the 12th of December. So on the 11th they had cooked this kind of court theater where basically they had brought a judge in a special court hearing setting. And you have to understand, so a judge essentially is someone who wears a red sash. And in order for you to be a judge, you gotta be at least a criminal lawyer for the last 10 years with experience. And to become a lawyer you must be at least going to university, finishing in late 20s, say 30s. By the time you have your experience, 10 years practice, you're 40 years of age easily. You're pushing 40 years of age. And the issue is not about ageism here, but the judge, if there's a specific requirements to being a judge, and like I said, you must be a lawyer with a minimum 10 years of experience before you are being appointed by a senior judge, so you are serving justice, so to speak. Whereas a justice of the peace, someone who just basically administrative law, she just simply wears a green sash, and it's essentially just a paralegal, and he is kind of like administrative degree with a zero criminal record. And if you have somebody at the courthouse to push your application, you got the job obstacle. So this is how it works here in Canada. Now, Canada, just to give you an idea, there are two laws. There are those people who still challenge and argue with me because they are just so ignorant to the law, and they've been living in Canada for many years. My brother here has only been here for 2 years, so or 5 years actually. So no issues here. 5 years. My other friend Abdul Hamid, he's been here for 2 years already. He's a Syrian sponsored refugee. Abdul Hamid Sultan, right? Syrian sponsored refugee. Last I checked, they were married with his wife under the Sharia Islamic law. My brother here could not even be sponsored here. How did he get here? Sponsorship by who?
My wife.
His wife, an Iraqi. She goes to Sudan. Check this out. She goes to Sudan, a blacklisted country. So she's Canadian. She goes to Sudan. My brother here in Syria. There is no embassy in Syria for Canada, so to speak. He travels to her. He goes to Sudan, right? You go to Sudan. You meet your future wife, and they get married under the Sheikh, mashallah, kitab shar'i. And now she has basically the proof that it's her husband that she is sponsoring. So she brings him here. What year did you land in Canada? What year?
November 15, 2019.
November 15, 2019. Hallelujah, just before COVID, right? So then a year and a half later, what happens? You got kicked out.
Yeah.
So he gets kicked out of the house on allegation. That's his wife, huh? Where did you live with your wife? Where did you live?
My husband, her family.
So he lived at his in-laws, Beit Ahma. Basically the father, right? Her mother, And who else?
Brother.
And her brother. How old is her brother?
49.
49.
No, 39.
Sorry, 39. So he's your age, a bit older than you, right? So guess what? Now he has a court, and he actually got convicted for some bogus charges. اغتصاب, rape. Who the hell rapes his own wife? Okay, now here's the thing. Without a consent, it's considered a rape. Okay, no problem. That's the law in Canada. So if you are approached your wife and she doesn't consent, that's considered a rape. But here's the thing. She is allegedly pressing charges against him because of what? Assault, right? He's beating her up. Go figure. He did not touch her. Did you touch her?
No.
He's innocent. But the law, because you don't have no money, guess what? I need to understand how to argue your case. Well, they cook this deal with a duty counselor and a crown prosecutor. Now, he's been made mentally, basically crazy. They want to push this argument to be basically non-criminally responsible. So NCR, because you need a medical diagnosis that basically suggests that, you have something up your head here, something is wrong with you. Did you ever take medication prior to the allegation?
Yeah.
Before the allegation, did you take medication?
No.
So before the allegation, there was no medication. Now, he's going through the court motion, and now they started suggesting he takes medication, right? How many years have you been taking the medication for? 3 years. And he's got tired. Man, there are side effects. But guess what? They need his consent. They cannot force him. But now he's liable for his own choices. So now he takes his own liability as to what happens, because now they're advancing this bogus argument that there's something wrong with his mind. There's nothing wrong with him. This is a tactic that criminals utilize and defense lawyers as well as prosecutors, so to speak, to inframe or simply get you out of jail. But if you pay the right money, then you're good. In his case, he's not paying money. He's innocent. He's innocent. What matters is not the process, is innocence. You're innocent before the law. Between him and Allah, he's innocent. So why are we trying to make a deal now to basically have him under house arrest? That's the deal right now. So now, yesterday I go with my brother to the courthouse, and the lawyer, duty counsel, that he is not paying, by the way. Who's paying the lawyer? Legal aid. Who pays legal aid, do you think? The government. So who pays the government? Taxpayers, all right? The same government is paying the crown prosecutor. So there's a clear conflict of interest. Tamam? So now what happens, I go with my brother just to kind of understand what happens. I'm trying to explain the law for him, because he got the civil law, 1985, the criminal code is 1985 RSC, 1985 CC 46. Go check it out, the criminal code, Canada, RSC. And that is a federal law. That's a federal law, criminal code, because you have to be a civil person. But the same schmucks, French people, they were, with their mandate on Syria. We all see Bab al-Hara, other Musalsalat Suriya, when you can see the people are going against the invader, so to speak, the colonial, right? The colonist. And Canada is no different. Canada has been basically, nothing but the, so to speak, the settlement, the colonial projects from 1584. You had Columbus and the Stooges. The French, so Columbus was what? Portuguese, right? Columbus. And then you had the Spanish, the English, the French, and the Dutch. They came into this expedition, 1584. Why 1584? You gotta go back in history and understand what new style versus old style. So, 1584, the Holy Roman Empire had fell. The holy part of the Roman Empire had fell, right? Now we establish, we come to the North Americas, and you know what happens, the atrocities, the killing, the murder of the indigenous people of North America. That's why you have restitution, the September 30th of each year. Now we celebrate, right? We are talking about restitution, reconciliation, and the truth, because the indigenous people were killed here. The very same, tactics and pattern has been done over, Middle East. I'm an indigenous Palestinian. I was born in Damascus as a second generation, because we have no basically community. Look, we came into the mosque. This is how many times we've been here, like 5th time, man. So I come here, mashallah, Sheikh Al-Akbar. We're gonna talk to the Sheikh Al-Akbar, the Baba, so to speak. What is your job? Listen, you have to understand how the laws work here. So you have this, the civil code, right? But then before that, you had the Constitution 1982. So the civil code is in 1985, RSC, like I said. The Constitution, which basically, safeguard your natural rights, inalienable natural rights and freedom. Why inalienable? Because those who believe in Allah, they say the Creator. Otherwise, you are, a pseudoscientist, you're a monkey, you're Darwinist, and you came from basically what? A monkey. You evolved to the human body, but that intellect of yours remains that of a monkey. So now you don't know how to speak. You're scared, shitless, you say la ilaha illallah, but then you follow the government and their stooges. Remember, You have a choice. You always have that choice. Take medication or don't take medication. You know, defend yourself in the court of the law. In the court of the law, basically, you know, with a lawyer under civil laws. So you have now to apply the civic code and the, you know, the criminal code. Or you simply go natural law. You speak like I'm talking. This is natural. You know, the Constitution of 1982. You know, Part 1, right? Gives you that because it's the trust law. It's between you and the government. As a Canadian or a permanent resident or any person for that matter, you come to Canada. There's that Constitution that safeguards natural persons, inalienable natural rights and freedom. So, but if you want to go back and, you know, assert your own jurisdiction, so we are 3 of us now. You know, me, Ammar, and Abdul Hamid is not here, but, you know, he went to see his kids, which he has another story. 4 kids. Now his wife studied Sharia. She studied Sharia, and now she's pushing the guy out of his house. 4 daughters. Like, what the hell happened to our women, man? What happened to our women? You know, like, irrespective of, it's a domestic, you know, case. It's an internal affair between you and your wife. The government has no business. Doesn't invasion privacy. Last I checked, you had to have, you know, Katb Kitab, Sharia, that you had the Sheikh Al-Akbar and somebody else that, you know, stamped that you guys are married. Right? You guys were married. And based on that paper, she can now sponsor you, like the case of my brother here, Ammar. So now they come to, you know, they spend 10 years in Turkey. The guy has a disability. You know, you cannot expect that, you know, the same level of a job from a guy who has a disability, permanent disability, versus someone who's normal. For 10 years, he had basically, you know, spent, right? And he had raised his family and kids, and he was, you know, he was mu'il. And they lived a good life, man. Listen, this guy had provided for his family very well. Now suddenly they come to Canada and his wife is demanding he finds a job. Like, they were in Turkey for 10 years. The guy turned away Turkish citizenship in lieu, or in, you know, for coming to Canada. The lands are free. The lands are free. Democracy. This is what we're preaching. You know, the dictatorship in Syria, right? You had Hafez al-Assad before. I was born in Damascus, 1985. So I grew up, man, till I was 14, 15. Well, what happened? Yeah, his son, Bashar al-Assad, because we have the kingdom of Syria right now. And, you know, last I checked, when I was, you know, in jail, I remember he was actually, you know, gone to Russia. Now, why was I in jail is the question. You know, you have videos. I've been talking about my situation, my case. This is not about me. Understand, this is about us as a Muslim community. We're a Muslim community. So, when we're a Muslim community, we're supposed to, you know, stand and support each other. Not just by words. I go to the mosque, before you finish the prayer, بتعربشوك. Donate, 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 donate. But when it comes to us asking for help, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a CEO of my own life. I have my own business. Elon Musk follows me. I'm not talking this, I'm bragging. I'm not. I'm just telling you, I got the mind. I got the gift of the mind. Right? The people who don't understand basic laws, they don't understand, you know, religion. They don't understand their own book. Religion. Why religion? It doesn't matter. We're people of faith. I've got more help from people who are not even Muslims than Muslims. Why? And we're talking about, you know, our leadership. Start with yourself, the community. The mosque here, you have to understand how the mosque operates. You have a non-for-profit organization designation, status. And for that, you gotta apply for the permit. And look, mashallah, the Jami' here, the mosque is big, man. The mosque is big, right? And then, you know, you go about and then you get your permit, you get, you know, money from the government because, again, it is a secular world. So the government gives you this, you know, funding, so to speak. But 80% of the money comes from the people, the community. And that's why, بتعربشوك, donate, donate, donate. You got, you know, the permit, you got the tax, you got the friggin', you know, hydro, electricity, heating, you know, maintenance. There's a lot of things, man, to keep. Listen, if you don't own a home, you have no idea. A rent is like $1,800 for 2-bedroom, $1,800 minimum, right? So it costs money. Basically, it costs money. But there's a difference when you take the money from outside source than the community and buy the land cash. There's a difference. Now you're subject to the bullshit laws that the bylaws and the regulation of the city. The city of Calgary in this case. Now we have 100,000 Muslims, mashallah. 100,000 Muslims. So roughly 30,000, you know, family. If you assume a, you know, average family size of 3, right? Mashallah, you know, the Muslims, they have at least 4 or 5 kids. So, you know, just say 20 to 25,000, you know, families here. But they're all divided. They're not united because the Imam Al-Akbar, Al-Baba, he is nowhere to be found. He is nowhere to be found. That's right. Like, come on, I go and knock on the doors, at his door for 4 times. Like, last I checked, you are in public office. You are entrusted. We are entrusting you. Who put you in this? Who put you in this office as an imam? Why are you an imam? To do what? To help and with the community, right? Last I checked, you go for Katb Kitab. Okay, what about the divorce? Why do I have to go to the friggin', you know, do the divorce and, you know, go through the process under bullshit laws, civil laws? We have Sharia. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to the sheikh, go about your business, settle your differences. Talaq, abghad al-iman huwa talaq. But you can go and sort your differences. You are married as Muslims, you divorce as Muslims, you don't want to get together, great. But now there are kids. Apply the rule of the law. Which law? common law. So that gets me to my second story. So we have civil law, right? 1985 RSC Civil Code, because the French for so long have been fighting the English. And then you have the English, which is based on common law. Now, why common law? Because that is Kitab al-Muwahhad. It's common between you and someone else. So when you marry a Muslim, the Kitab al-Muwahhad is Quran, and then you follow the Quran as your manhaj. So that's your way of life. So what happens now? Suddenly you are going to find a lawyer. You're seeking someone else's advice. Listen, assert your national rights. The Constitution 1982 is not what you need to assert. You first assert your own individual sovereign state. It's called, Section 92 of the British North American Act, BNA 1867, because that's when Canada first came to exist. You had four, so-called settlements, the English and the French. So you had the Upper Canada, Lower Canada, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. Now, it just so happened that Lower Canada at the time was called Quebec. Quebec was a French settlement. And they lost, the Battle of Quebec in 1775. Too bad. They lost the battle. Now, basically, Quebec get annexed into into New Canada, so to speak, or the Dominion in 1867, and now they're under the, British North American Act. So now, when you go to court, they don't even tell you this. They just talk about the natural law, like 1982, any element of natural rights and freedom. But then you can just simply assert your own jurisdiction, your sovereign state, because sovereignty is siyade. Siyade, nobody, like, who is your Sayyid right now? Who's Wali Amrak? Who's your guard? Who's your come on, who's your chief? That's what it means, siyade. It's called back in the days, when you had caliphate back in the days, it was called Amir al-Mu'mineen. Why is Amir al-Muslimin? Because Iman is one. You have Iman is one. Faith is one. I don't care what you believe in. If you are a person of faith, because Rabb al-Alameen, last I checked, he allowed Muslim to marry non-Muslim as long as they're Ahlul Kitab. And now you get the people just judging you, prejudice for your look, listen, brother, it's none of your business. I pray, I don't pray, none of your business. The least you could do is just be a human being. Be a human being. Wanna see khalqah? Go back to your book, man. Go back to Quran. Not me, I'm not a sheikh. I'm just a guy. I speak loud, I project my voice because I'm from Damascus. I used to, sell potatoes on the street when I was 6 years of age. That's right. Because I was responsible. I learned to be responsible, man. A man is his word. If you cannot follow through your word, there's no point of calling yourself a man. Don't be a simp. That's what we're calling simp. So, mashallah, Sheikh Al-Akbar, I go to his house 4 times. The second time around, I actually go and I shovel the snow for him. So don't tell me you have not noticed. There's noise outside the door and there's a camera outside. You must have seen me, alright? You must have seen me. I don't have to disclose names. Everybody knows who they are. Suddenly, the third time around, mashallah, min wara'i hijab, sharia, letter by letter. The door is cracked. Ammar. They crack the door open. They don't even show who's behind the door. Where is Sheikh Al-Akbar? MashaAllah, he's at the mosque since the morning. Prayer, Fajr time, he's praying. It's 9:30 in the morning. Fajr is 6 o'clock in the morning. 3 hours, the guy still, he's like this. Mechanics, he's praying. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Good. My brother and I, we come to the mosque. Nobody. There's no truck. The same truck that was at the house for 4 days prior, the 4 times I've seen the truck, suddenly it comes from, mashallah, Isra wal Mi'raj, it comes from the sky, it lands down. Like, how the hell did the truck get here in the first place? You clearly drove the damn truck. The truck was parked outside your house. 4 times. Suddenly, you're at the mosque. We come to the mosque, you know where to be found. And suddenly, 12:30, prayer time. Like, prayer's all about to be finished, not even started. The guy shows up. MashaAllah. On the phone. High horse. Comes off the whatchamacallit. He gets off the car, the truck. He cannot talk to us. He's too busy. He figured, maybe I'm not righteous Muslim, right? I'm not righteous brother. You don't know nothing about me, man. You're just prejudging me just for what? Because I don't have no amama? Is that the reason? Is that what your deen, is that what your God tells you? Right? And you claim yourself to be a sheikh. You claim yourself to be the person in the office to represent 100,000 Calgarian. Then they call themselves Muslim. Who put you in power? Who put you in the office? Yes, I talk like this because you're a schmuck. You're a stooge, imam. That's what you are. So yeah, I talk like this because guess what? A man is his word. Don't tell me I'm busy for you, I don't want to talk to you. I'm a man, I can take it. But don't go about the bushes. Oh, he's not here, he's not here. 4 times you show up to the same door. You were supposed to be here since the Fajr time and you're praying, supposedly, and mashallah, Sabbuh Qaddus. Like, where are you? Where are you? Anyway, so that's what happened basically. This is why we are at the mosque. We come here because we were made homeless. Yesterday, my brother and I, we got kicked out. Listen, I came from Ottawa. I'm an entrepreneur. Elon Musk follows me because he's a stooge. I'm the engineer. I went from 0 to 300,000 views in no time, 5 months. I got banned from LinkedIn. Yes, go check me out, 613 Solar. 613 Solar, one word, YouTube or X. Elon Musk follows me. I got the facts, man. But you are perhaps too much of a sheep. But to listen to this kind of language, to understand what I'm trying to tell you, because now you're waiting for Isa alayhi salam to come down and save your ass. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. We live in a time where, like, if you say you're a Muslim, you're oppressed. It don't have to be a Muslim to be oppressed. Look, my example, my experience, my brother's experience, my other brother's experience. Why are we the subject of prejudice, systemic racism, discrimination, discriminatory bias, defamation? Why? Because we just, are good people and we just go about our own business? Like, come on, man. Because we came to the land for better life. Listen, man, I came here, 1999, October 26. I was 14 years plus. I celebrated my 15th birthday here. I went to high school. I went to university. I finished aerospace electronics. I worked in the industry for 10 plus years, decade. Yeah, I play the guitar too. Maybe that's what makes me, basically a strange guy, right? Like, I could not be an engineer because, oh, God forbid I play the guitar. I must be an imbecile. Like, what's wrong with you people? It's called gift. You can play. You can do whatever you want in life. So yeah, it's funny because life throws things at you, and the issue is not, it's not life. The issue is with you, with your ignorance. Because Section 19 of the Criminal Code is ignorance of the law does not give you the excuse to commit such an offense. And you have to go back laws and hierarchy. I told you, it's very simple. You got the civil laws and you got the common law, but we do not argue common law because most people now have abandoned their faith. They abandon the religion because, God forbid you say religious people see you praying, everybody's like, dark and hide. Nobody wants to be seen. Come along Ramadan again. Ramadan. Go learn Arabic. Ramadan. It's not tomorrow. We're in Jamada. Like, come on, man. Anyway, this is just my belief. This is just who I am. I can reason. I can explain. I do not say I'm not a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim. I have the book of the Quran. But the rest of the bullshit is bid'ah, innovation. Go back to Quran and tell me what the Shams wal Qamar does. Who created the turtle? How many days are in a year? Basic question you have no answer for because you have lost the ability to think for yourself. There are exactly 364 days a year. Not 365, not 360, 364. That's called quantum time. Go learn some quantum physics and come talk to me. Alright? And it's not about quantum, man. If you cannot explain the world in a simple way to a 5-year-old kid, you have not learned your faith. You have not learned your faith. Because you should be able to explain and reason to a child how Allah created this universe. What is Allah? Like, people don't understand. They just go. Mechanics. We pray. God forbid you pray with your hands up or down like, you're a kafir. Like, we have so many factions. We have so many tawa'if. Why? Everybody is, بكثرة. Listen, man, people in Syria, it's not the the American killing the Syrian at the time, or the Muslim. It's Muslims killing Muslims, it's Christian killing Christians, it's everybody's killing, because it's divide and conquer. The same stooges, you have to understand. You have to go back in time. Moses alayhi salam, Musa, he came with what? Judaism. But he was not a Jew himself, he's an Israelite. Again, this issue about Israel, listen people, you don't know nothing. You don't know history, first of all, to understand what I'm talking about. Yes? Perhaps you understand. Well, guess what? It's very simple. You have a name. The name is a legal entity. So you can establish a business. You can establish a corporation. You can establish, an entity. Governments are nothing but a corporation. What? Oh, shit, corporation. That's right. It's called maritime laws. So the corporation is for profit because the government is not here for charity. They're doing for profit. That's why you have the federal government and they have their rules and regulation and the civil code, because they are trying to govern a society. We have all walks of life here in Canada. You have the Hindi, the Hindus, you have the Sikh, you have the Arab, you have the Russian, you have the African, you name it, man. All walks of life. You don't have to travel. You don't travel outside Canada. Just come here. Look, I came here. I did not speak a word English. Right now, we can't even keep up. Not because I speak you fast or I lost my... No! It's just basics. I don't need to read. I can just focus on speaking because I just speak from my mind. So basically you have civil code and then you have natural law. When again, to do so, you just simply go and you represent yourself. You don't need a lawyer because the lawyer must be, trained and qualified in the area of the law that they are basically, practicing. You cannot go see, a criminal lawyer for your family matter. You gotta go see a family lawyer. You cannot go see, like if it's business, it's contract. You gotta go see contract. You go buy a house, you need a lawyer, legal, but it's not a criminal lawyer. It's just, a real estate lawyer. Again, for everything, there's a damn thing. You wanna go fix your tooth, you don't go see a mechanic. That's called pull off. You pull it with a plier. Natural, pull it, but you have a choice to go on, put some cavity shit, in your mouth, and, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, that's your choice. And that's the idea. You have civil code, civil law, and processes, and inhumane processes, not efficient processes, inhumane processes, because they remove the element of being a human. You're talking to a robot, a chatbot, something, administrative law, people just know how to stamp papers. You don't need to have a degree to stamp papers. An idiot can do it while their eyes closed. That's why corruption in the Middle East, if you gotta pay the guys some rashwe, bribe to get your shit moving. But, if you got a society that is, going by the rule of the law, that's it, the society operates. You do not need a governing body. Everybody understand their, rights and responsibility as a law-abiding citizen. Which law? Well, go back to your book. There's not a single book in this world, that promotes the killing of other people, other races, other ethnicities. Why? Because that would be murder. Without just cause, that would be murder. Murder! And there will be punishment. But if you're innocent and they try to frame you for murder and then they make you like you're crazy, well, that's too bad because, you got just too much money. You got money and you can get out. That's how the law operates, how this world operates here. When you give up your right to defend yourself, understand you are giving it to somebody else. And guess what? The lawyer has not just your case, man. They got a bunch of cases. They're trying to make a living, man. At the end of the day, the government's paying legal aid. Legal aid, who's paying? The government and the crown prosecutor, the entity or the party basically pushing and pressing the charges against you. Also getting paid by the same entity, the government, which is what? Funded by who? The taxpayers. So when you taxpayers don't speak and don't understand what you're doing, because there's something called trust law. Trust law, all you need to know is a trust law. Start at David. One triangle up, one triangle down. The first thing is trust. If I didn't trust this man, if he didn't trust me, he would not be with me sleeping in the same spot. We slept overnight yesterday in the truck because we got kicked out of the one bedroom that we were given because by who? By an Indian friend, Indian brother. But he has all the right to kick us out because my friend, unfortunately, he did the mistake. I did not let him know that, we were three now. Even though we were two of us because he had gone and, got his own room because he did not want trouble. But nonetheless, we were not, so to speak, on the lease. There was no lease. But the least he could have done is call the guy, tell him, listen, we're three of us. I left my two brothers because, I don't want to make it too much. We left without any incident yesterday. We thinking to my head, okay, what to do? So, I grab a truck. Why do I grab a truck? Because the Stooges, the RCMP had stolen my vehicle, my rental. I came from Ottawa on the 16th of January. 2 days before that, I was at the embassy, right? Russian embassy, trying to seek asylum, like a refugee status. Why? Because I'm Canadian citizen. Now I'm seeking refugee. I'm a Canadian refugee. I'm a Palestinian indigenous, right? Born refugee in Damascus. We came here as immigrants. And then suddenly now, 25 years later, I am made refugee in my own hometown in Ottawa. I was almost shot back in December. And then I was taken to custody and taken to jail 3 times. The first time, like I told you, there's the video. Allegedly suspended driver license. They had no reason. They breached trust. They lied to me. The cops lied to me. So and I go through court motion. The first court appearance, I go. They put me in jail because there was a revoked surety on my mother. My mother's like 7 years of age, man. She doesn't know shit English. She doesn't know nothing laws. She did not. It's not about high school or not. It's about understanding how the world operates. I went to high school, university. I have over 10 plus years of experience in the industry. I've gone through court motion. I understand what I'm talking about because at the end of the day, there's facts. You can go and read on the justice.gc. Like there's a justice website, Canadian, not my website. I'm not telling you to go to solarwas.io or 613solar.ca. No. Go to the government website. They have their own spiel. And they pride themselves with, the best renowned two judiciary systems. We have secular law. They even call it secular law. Secular because you're a Darwinist, like I said. You come from a monkey. You evolve from a monkey to a human form, but you still have that intellect of a monkey. Right? So, then you have the other called common law. But the thing is, like I told you, common law, people don't understand what common law is because, what's common law? Like I said, it's a common book between you and somebody else. It's a common law. But don't argue common law. You go back to natural. Why? Because secular world is science-based. And science is what? Nothing but the observation of universal natural phenomena that we observe on this planet we call Mother Earth. Mother Earth. everywhere is the Holy Land. It's not just particular to Palestine and, you know, some bullshit, bogus, you know, borders that somebody else came and fabricated just so they can have now, you know, so to speak, like a what we call musmar juha, you know, like it's just an excuse. Look, man, you're a Jew, great. You're a Christian, amazing. The Crusades happened for a reason. We have not the Jewish state, but we don't have the Christian state. Where's the Muslim state? Where's the Christian state? Yeah, the Christian state is in Russia. Orthodox. Because the Vatican has let go long time ago. Like I told you, it's now been, you know, nothing but a, you know, devil and Lucifer worshipper. The problem is this. People have not even, they stop worshiping the devil. I wish you were worshiping the devil, because at least that's something Allah created. Now you're running after money, worshiping money. People got every office, they got money. You can go buy people in office, and that's how you get through life. Corruption doesn't happen on the city roads, because, oh, God forbid you give the cop $20. You know, you're gonna be charged for bribery. But the stooges, they can cook it from the cop to the justice of the peace, right? To the crown prosecutor. They close that circle in the lower court, because you have a lower court like this. You spin in wheels. You spin in wheels, and then the pyramid or the triangle is like that, right? Lower court, upper court is so-called superior. This is the case in every province. Every province in Canada. We have 4, you know, provinces that first made the Dominion 1867, and then later on, you know, other provinces had joined, and now we have 10 provinces and 3 territories. Right? And it's, you know, if you join the first, if you are one of the first 4 territories that joined, so to speak, the settlements, you know, Quebec, Ontario right now, and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, you know what, you're kosher. You got preferential treatment. That's why Quebecois, they have their nation. Remember, the nation of Quebec, they don't even celebrate Canada Day, man. Last time I checked, a French person from Montreal or elsewhere, they do not carry a Quebec passport. It's Canadian. Last time I checked, it's Canadian passport. So it's the same constitution, the same kind of spiel that, you know, whether you are French or not, you're still carrying the same passport. I'm trying to look for my passport now. That's why I'm kind of like moving, so I can show you people. Right? I can show you the contract. I can show you the contract. So check this out. You know, people come here to Canada because, you know, we came here, my dad figured, you know, in the mid of the 90s, there's economic downturn. You know, let's go to Syria. Let's leave Syria, because there's almost was a war with Turkey because of Sadd al-Furat. You know, the Turkish government was building a dam on the Euphrates to basically, you know, like divert the water or some shit. So, this is me. This is me. 2015, right? 2015. Now, Damascus, Syria. Now, let's look at the contract. Passport. This is the contract. Read, damn it, read. This is the contract. This is the contract. So I'm going to read to you, right? The contract says, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Canada requests in the name of Her Majesty. Right? Her name, the Majesty. Why? Because my passport is, you know, 10 years old, and the Queen just died not long ago. So, all those whom it may concern to allow the bearer to pass freely, without delay or hindrance, and to afford the bearer such assistance and protection as may be necessary. Not to apprehend and assault and, like, go to the slammer just because, you know, the person is just asserting his natural rights and freedom, which is safeguarded by this damn constitution, by this contract. Because if I was waving this flag, you know, this passport, in Lebanon or in Damascus, you know, during the wartime, oh, hallelujah, go to your nearest Tim Horton abroad, and they will make sure you get to the embassy and you are safe and sound, delivered, you know, and you know, basically transported to, you know, to Canada. And they will give you, you know, PTSD, post-trauma syndrome, you know, they give you accommodation, they give you money, medication, you name it. Because now in front of the international community, remember, governments are corporations, so in front of the international community, you are a liability. That's your responsibility as a government to basically go and retrieve or basically save your citizen, right, of war zone. But here we are in Canada, we are being oppressed the shit out of us, because it's okay, it's internal affairs, you know, citizen, you know, how we treat our citizen is no one's business. So, if you treat your wife a certain way, that's no one else's business. It's not the government business. Just like it's not my business, right, from the outside to see how the government is treating its citizens. But if you want to understand democracy, go to your nearest detention center and see how people are actually treated, right? And that is your measure of democracy, because democracy is a two-way street, right? You get the parliament, The government can only operate on framework called bylaw, the Constitution. So that Constitution is what? Is a framework that allows the Parliament to dictate laws. But then you also have the law executive, or the the executive branch, the law enforcement, which is, if you have laws that you cannot enforce, they're useless. So you need the law enforcement. That's why you need cops, so to speak, police officers, and different jurisdictions. So federally speaking, we have the military, so we can assert the sovereignty of Canada. But Canada did not earn its sovereignty like the United States of America in 1784. The USA had fought against the British, and the French at the time did not choose to or elect to fight the Americans because they were busy. The Napoleon Wars, and then they had the English as well front. So they don't want to freaking have another war front and fight the American now. So they send them the Statue of Liberty. Where is the Statue of Liberty, you ask? It's on New York. Where? In the harbor, on the water, because that's maritime law for you. Understand what I'm trying to tell you. Maritime law, laws of the sea. Whereas, we people, we live on the land, so natural law, and then we have our books. Whether it's the Torah, whether it's Moses' law, whether it's, Jesus, the Bible, what's the Quran. That's the book, the holy book, Samawi. It's heaven, not even. So, when we talk, then you go to the church, you go to the court, you see three books, the Torah, the Injil, or the Bible, or the Quran on the table. They're not supposed to be on the table. They're not supposed to. You go argue. Natural laws, because again, Allah created the universe, and so He did for the nature. You don't have to go and touch common law. Common law is just specific for the Christian. We're not Christian. The Constitution allows me to be a Sikh, right? I can be a Sikh right now with a turban going sideways. I can be a Jew. I can be a Christian. It doesn't matter. I can be an atheist. My belief, none of your business. And that is the crook of the matter, that we judge each other just because, someone's got long hair, he looks like, infidel, he looks. What's it to you people? Inna Allah yanzuru ila qulubikum. Allah looks at your heart, not your appearance, not your look. It's great, listen, I'm not suggesting you go and look like me. But understand the crook of the matter. You make money as a man, money does not make you. But too bad, nowadays everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. So that's kind of where I am in life, and right now, I've been made fugitive from my own hometown in Ottawa. Like I told you, Elon Musk follows me for a reason. I went from 0 to 300,000, views on LinkedIn within 5 months, 5 damn months. Why? Because I'm talking about energy. You guys are all struggling. Why can't we have, a company that is providing energy to everybody? I started my business 613 Solar in 2023. I started posting on LinkedIn. Previous to that, I was with my brother. So. He's in the renewable energy space. I finished aerospace. He finished, sustainable and renewable energy at Carleton. So we've known each other for 20 years plus. Quit my job 2021. I started helping. I was going through a divorce. 2022, I'm helping my brother closing deals. I close deals for him. I can close deals. But when I start my business, suddenly I look at the math and the numbers. Listen, I'm not gonna scam you. My integrity, my character does not permit me or allow me to scam you as my brother or not. I'm a man. I'm not going to scam you something. So an average solar system is $40,000. That is grid tied. Average sunlight, you get 4 to 6 hours. You spend $40,000 for a system that only runs 4 to 6 hours a day. Guess what? No power, no grid, no solar. You have to go to a hybrid system now, so you can now install a battery and then rely on sunshine. And without a battery, your house is, the cloud comes and it's shut down. So that's why you need a battery, in case where the sun is not guaranteed to be there shining. And again, you're back to $50,000 to $60,000, depending on the battery storage capacity that you need. Whereas, and remember, you need either to, in Alberta right now, for example, Alberta, you have the Premier, Danielle Smith. How else is the Premier herself, Danielle Smith, is fighting Ottawa federal government, that is, on the issue of climate change and net zero. I mean, net zero, you have 80% what? 80% fossil fuel that is here. The industry in the province of Alberta is oil and gas. 80%. That's what people live. Go. You're living in the Calgary, but go to the boonies, man. Go to Victorville. Go to Spruce Grove. Go to Okotoks. Go to Medicine Hat, Brooks. Boonies, man. It's all countryside. You see one farm. I was in Le Monde. I was driving in Le Monde. Le Monde, man. There's a wind farm. The population of that village is 174 people. There's not a soul, man. The freaking wind farm is out of order. I have a video I posted on X. Again, it's not a single turbine is running. Because the taxpayers, remember, who's building all these projects? Understand, the government is funneling and siphoning all these taxpayers. It's called public trust. So when you get paid, when you go to work 9 to 5 and you're an employee, you can go and work your job being an entrepreneur. Work for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to have a contract, you know. Allah tells you, you know, writes a paper between you and somebody, a hood. But at the end of the day, a man is his word. Word, action, trust. Trust is up top because somebody's watching, you know. Here, then your word and then your action. That's it. You have, that's it. One triangle, trust. If I speak, you gotta trust me. If you cannot trust me, you cannot have business. Simple. Then the other half, so that's the first triangle. Now the bottom triangle, when you put upward and downward triangle, guess what you get? You get the Star of David. That's right. What do you get? The second. So this is, remember, pointing upward. Government dictates law. Law enforcement, executive, and then you have the judiciary. All that is to say there's an equal trust, equal side triangle, equal level of trust between me, right? Because remember, I'm the beneficiary. So government, law, executive, beneficiary. Now, I must be able to trust because the government can only operate within the framework of what? Parliament. That's how you dictate law. Parliament is act of parliament, statute law for a reason. You could not have a Highway Traffic Act of 1990 or some other bullshit year if it wasn't for the fact that you have a parliament. And like I said, we patriated Canada, patriated its parliament from London, England in 1982. Big deal. Otherwise, you know, would have been London. But because we live here and it does not make sense for a central agency, so to speak, to dictate the lives of people living on the land. You cannot do that. So it's no jurisdiction. So now they patriated the damn, parliament from London all the way to Canada, Ottawa, the nation capital. Hallelujah. But that's why you also have Section 92, the BNA Act 1867. So where as a province or a natural person can assert their own sovereignty as well. And this is what exactly Daniel Smith, the Premier, is doing. Because guess what? You live in Alberta. You would know better what kind of natural resources and how to utilize and use them, right? You know, you're not going to allow the government to trample on your natural rights and freedom. Because listen, there's 80% of the grid, right? The grid, you need electricity. No electricity, you have no digital world. You'll be living back in the caves. So how do you generate electricity, you ask? You have hydro, so you have a dam. It goes turbine, you know, spins. And then, but guess what? Unfortunately, Alberta does not have many rivers and, you know, water bodies. So 80% of their, actually 64% is natural gas now and 70% is coal. That's what it used. Well, that's what it is right now. So roughly 81% of the, grid mix, so to speak. That's what we call it, the grid mix, because you have different fuels to generate electricity. So natural gas 64%, coal is 17%, combined 81%. Then you have about 10%, renewable, and the last. Again, go back and read your own history, read your own province and how they generate electricity. So 81% fossil fuel, then 10% renewable, and then the last one, it's import or some shit like that, biomass and you name it. But now, if you were to replace all this grid, like what they're claiming, net zero, net zero grid, like Stephen Guilbeault, the Minister of Climate Change Canada, right? Unjustly coming with this bogus. Listen, I'm an engineer. I can tell you the math. It does not add up. I have a better solution. Okay, I'm not gonna complain. I have a better solution. Not solar, because I started my business in solar, but that's not what I'm, pushing. I'm not advocating for solar because I would not sell you scam technology. No sunlight, no. Listen, the best solar technology you can get right now is a 22% efficiency panels, and that has to do with the area size. So you need about 4 meters square or 4.4 meters square just to basically get 1 kilowatt, right? Anyways, man, we can talk about energy and math and all that, but understand what I'm trying to tell you. Right now, I have a box. I have the claim that I'm saying. I have a claim. Elon Musk follows me. I can substantiate that claim. But Elon Musk is going to planet Mars, and everybody believes him. Everybody's investing, right? He's got Tesla, the world's shittiest car. That's right. I shit on the guy's car. He's following me for a reason, because I'm shitting on him. Trolling his technology because it's bogus. He's stealing the name of Tesla so he can piggyback on the pioneer Nikola Tesla, which is a native Serbian. Native Serbian, that's right. So, nowadays, modern day Croatia. Modern day Croatia, that's what it is. But anyways, Nikola Tesla is the grandfather. He's the pioneer. He was, light years ahead of his, peers. And this is not about me telling you who Tesla is. Go do your research, man. All I'm saying is I got this claim. I got this box that I can generate electricity. No fossil fuel. No gas. No diesel. Nothing. No solar panels. 24 hours, 7 days, 364. Now, that can be sold to Alberta. That can be sold to the community. That can be sold anywhere in the world. I'm not asking you for, to believe me. All I'm asking is I need to go about my business. I came here from Ottawa to Calgary, Alberta, because, well, last I checked, the Freedom Convoy originated and started in Alberta. I was there, the Freedom Convoy. I can tell you what happened. I can testify. They were nothing but United Nations troops. Masks. Like, you could not see them, man. You could not see those people. No ID, no badge, no nothing. You could not identify nobody. No shit. Because tyranny has made it here. We have something called the World Economic Forum. I speak not because I'm speaking. I'm not a political guy. I can just tell you what is happening in the world because I live in Canada too. I happen to come from Damascus, Syria. I came here as, an immigrant. I was born refugee. I came here with my family. I had no choice. I came with my father, right? My mother, my sister, to pursue better life. Before you know it, I was 21. I had bought my first house, the condo. This is my only source of income right now. But the guy, of course I don't have a contract with, like a rental lease agreement. I look at the guy, I met the guy at downtown, I met the guy through another friend of mine, he's Spanish. So I met the guy, his name is Kyle Lagur. He's coming out and he looks like worse than me. The guy's like, he looks roughed up and shit. I had just come out of jail, I look like the guy, He tells me his story, I empathize with the guy. I'm like, listen brother, I don't need nothing from you. Just, here's my house, come clean it, live in it. The same house that I told my mom, my sister, and everybody else that, listen, there's a house you can go and rent. I don't need no rental agreement. Just go rent, take care of the house. Rent to own. Rent to own, that's right. Basically, after 15 years, the money you put aside, you would have 50% of the house. 50%. The bank doesn't even give you that. So, I'm going with my own law. Allah told me, no riba. No, I didn't know any better before. Now I know. So I go about my life the way Allah dictates. Not the bullshit schmucks. So I can work, I can go get a truck, what I need is an ID. An ID is not the fucking passport is driving, not my ID is driving. I am driving, I'm the person behind the wheel driving the thing, so I'm assuming liability. You just need insurance if you're too much, because again, accidents, you could be the best driver, but just in case shit happens. If you're at fault, you gotta cough up the money. That's why you need liability insurance. But remember, it's not this or the ID that is driving. You are the natural person behind the wheel. So now when the police officer shows up, oh, you need a driver. No, you do not need a driver license. And again, I'm not advocating not to have a driver license. You do this because you're a good law-abiding citizen. But now when the police officer start trampling and infringing on your jurisdiction as a natural person and tells you, oh, you're suspending driver license, and suddenly, robs you, your shelter, your mobile home, and, your ability to go from A to B. That's section 6 under the Constitution. Fundamental rights and freedom, 1, 2. Freedom of thought, expression. Not so you can call me crazy. I'm not crazy. So that's what they try to pull at me in the Moffat Hospital when I got released from jail the last time by myself without any surety. Alhamdulillah. I know enough laws and my right and my responsibility as a law-abiding citizen to get myself out. Alhamdulillah. The first 2 times I got out on surety. My mom, my father, both are ignorant of the law. My mom, I do not, so to speak, like I'm not upset with my mom. I don't, hold her accountable. But my father, who's an engineer, right? Listen, just because you're an engineer doesn't mean that you know everything. And I'm not claiming that I know everything, but at least I can substantiate, I can back up what I'm saying. And that's the idea that everybody has their own belief, opinion. And you must be able to defend those beliefs. Otherwise, you might as well just be a sheep, follow everybody else. So I'm defending my own belief, my own aqeedah, my own natural rights and freedom as safeguarded by the Constitution. The only thing is, you need to stand up and speak. You don't need a lawyer to speak on your behalf. And that's it. I'm out for the day because I keep getting these calls. Peace.